Hi, I'm Chelsea from Chelsi Stratton Designs, and today I am here in my mom's sewing studio to share with you all a brand new raspberry summer quilt, Sweet Adventure. I have been so excited to share this quilt for a few reasons, one of them being that I've never designed a medallion quilt before, and there's just lots of fun things to talk about because it is a medallion quilt. So let's get started. All right, I am very excited to get started on sharing more about this quilt. I'm going to start at the beginning. I actually had not planned on designing a medallion quilt. It was a suggestion my mom gave me because she had designed a row quilt with the Raspberry Summer collection, and I had kind of thought about doing that. So she said, hey, why don't you design a medallion quilt? But I had never designed one before, felt a little bit intimidated, and I just thought to myself, this quilt is all about building blocks, and you just keep building and adding on to your center. And I knew I wanted my center to be a star, or like you can see here, a couple stars. And I really just started there. I went into EQ and I started tackling what I knew I wanted to be my center block. And it's a really great size. Like, honestly, after the center block was made, my quilter Marion Bott actually pieced this whole thing for me. She is incredible. She sent me a picture and I just was so excited about it, seeing it from the screen of designing it to actually it being made. And it honestly would look great as like a table center, but it just gets even more fun the more you keep adding on to it. So we started out with stars in the center to make the center star block. So that's actually from this pink corner all the way down to the other pink corners is the first section of the quilt you're going to be working on. And I love that I'm using a bunch of different fabrics and prints from the collection. I also loved that I got to show off one of our low volume florals in it too. It is not intermediate level. This is all just basic skills and techniques. If you have sewn one or many of my quilt patterns, you'll know I like to stick with beginner piecing techniques. I promise you, if you're seeing this video as a beginner quilter, you can make this. And I actually think it might be quite fun to just set goals and say, oh, month one or week one, I'm gonna do the center star block and kind of go from there. And then in 12 weeks, you have a quilt. All right, so after you finish your center star block, we actually start with the first round of building blocks. And I love a good easy corner economy block. And so that was the first thing that we added to the quilt around it. So these are the cute little blocks, and it's really great because there's so many of them. And so I got to show off almost every single print from the collection as we started getting into these blocks. Super easy piecing, mindless sewing, I promise you. If you like to listen to Audible or watch a show, this whole quilt is just like repetition after repetition. Very easy blocks, and this is the next step. The next part of it I'm going to show you is your first little inner border that you're going to be adding. Now we have about 5, I think. I'm actually going to count them right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I have 5 borders in this quilt. The reason I did that, obviously, is you want to give separation. I didn't want it to look too busy, but I still wanted to show off the low volume. So I opted not to use the Bella 200 on this first border because I already knew we had Bella 200 in the whole quilt, several different areas. So we added I think we call this like the flower wreath. And it's so cute because it also ties in all the colors from the collection as well. So that is going to be your first little border milestone, I like to call it, I guess. The next block, easy as well, flying geese. I mean, pretty typical. I love flying geese. So very easy. Again, shows off all the different collections within the quilt. We're going to be moving on to the stars and the little squares. Okay, I could have done just stars, but I liked having a little bit of a separation, and so I added these little cornerstone alternate blocks right next to the stars. So you have the stars going around, but they are alternating with the little cornerstone blocks. And I actually did them, the navy gingham and the red gingham, and just offset that throughout the entirety of these rows. And I really like it. I initially thought, oh, I'll do all different square colors, but I just loved that gingham so much. I thought, let's just keep doing that as an alternating print throughout that. So you have the stars, little sawtooth stars. Those are my favorite. I'm actually going to share a product I've been loving lately. My quilt are starches, but I've been using the Flatter product, and I actually really love it. I used it while making raspberry summer quilts, and I thought it worked really well. So if you're someone that is maybe nervous about a little bit smaller piecing, that is something that helped me. We are going into our first print border, and I chose the red gingham. You guys, I looked at my stash of raspberry summer. I am almost out of this already. I'm kind of sad about it. I ordered a bunch of it because I do not want to lose out on those ginghams. So we did the first print border. Now, something interesting, I'm actually going to fold this corner up and show you. Instead of just doing the red gingham all the way around, I want to show you this intersection of the red ginghams. On each of the corners, I opted not to just continue the red gingham. I did these tiny little easy corner blocks with low volumes and the green gingham. I like it so much more. I don't know why. When I was designing it, I thought, let's do some cute little blocks at the end of the gingham. If you want to continue the gingham, by all means, you can do that. That is totally fine. But I just thought it added a little bit something else to the quilt. Our next segment, okay, these are the last blocks actually. These are the heart blocks. And while designing the quilt, I was like, okay, we did easy corner, you know, economy blocks. We did stars. We did flying geese. What else could we do? In true Chelsi fashion, my love of hearts, we added hearts to the quilt. And I kind of think it's like homage to the name Sweet Adventure as well. So I have plenty of heart patterns. I love making hearts. I could probably make them in my sleep. And so we added these, but again, you guys, I kind of get bored of just the same block. And I'm so weird about hearts touching. I added these little diamonds in here so that there was some space from the heart blocks. Really glad I did it. I think the space was needed. And I actually kept this all the same print. It's all the green gingham as well. But I got to show basically all of the prints from the collection in the hearts, which was a lot of fun. I think that's just another great thing about this quilt. If you really love this collection, you're going to be able to see all of the prints. But if you really love another collection that you want to make this medallion quilt in, you're going to be able to see all of the prints from the collection. So now it's just, we're ending with borders. And I love this floral orange. So we added that. It kind of brightens it up because I opted for a darker border, outer border, I mean. So the orange kind of brightens things up a bit, but to give space to the outer border, I did the low volume paisley print to kind of, I didn't want to do, because this middle one is larger and I didn't want to do it Bella 200. I felt like it was going to feel very blank, I guess. And it was a nice little transition because I realized this low volume had the orange little paisley in it to match in with this orange border. So we opted for a low volume on that. And then I had the hardest time choosing the outer border. And I am so glad I went with the teal dots. I don't know why, you guys. I'm obsessed with not only the print of the teal dots, but the color. I think it's such a great color. Obviously you can tell we haven't bound this yet. I got the binding all cut. My mom's gonna sew it on, and I opted for a mint color on the binding that has tiny little bits of the teal in it. Oh, I don't think I mentioned this quilt is 80.5 inches by 80.5 inches square, for everyone who wants to know. And then the backing is my absolute favorite. The flower wreath is so cute on this, and I think the reason why is our low volume prints show all of the colors from the collection, and I think just navy is not included in this particular print, but it was really fun for it, and because I like to be sneaky, this print also has hearts in it, and so that's why I chose to do this as the backing. I think I ordered so many of the low volumes just because I don't want to run out of them. They make great backings. They're just good, fun prints to have on hand. But I really love this quilt, and I'm really, really grateful for Marion for doing the quilting and for piecing it for me. I hope that you enjoy making it. Like I said, it would be so fun as like a block of the month, or you focus on one per week, you know, one section, and go from there. It would be something fun to sew with a friend. Just lots of different things with this quilt. I'm really glad I went ahead and challenged myself and listened to my mom and did something new. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this video where we got to take a closer look at the Sweet Adventure quilt. It is very much one of my favorite quilt patterns that I've designed at this point, and love all of the fun things about it. If you are loving this quilt, it is linked in paper and PDF in the description of this video. And if you liked this video, please hit the like button. And also, if you're new here, we would love to have you, so please subscribe. Thanks so much for stopping by.